What's up, y'all? I knew you wasn't expecting this video because, I don't be reviewing all these shows, y'all. It's a lot to do, show reviews, like watching it, taking notes, recording the video, editing the video. It's a whole lot. But I'm having a couch potato Saturday, and I loved Love is Blind season 1. And season 2 is now out. Well, some of season 2. So I went ahead and watched the first 5 episodes that are available. And I just needed somebody to talk to. I needed somebody to talk to, y'all. Okay. So Love is Blind, again, season 2 is now out. They have the first 5 episodes out. And it's 10 episodes total. Looks like the next 4 episodes are going to be released February 18th. And then the last episode, February 25th. So I decided, why not make a couple videos? Because, this is not, a weekly thing that will happen that I can kind of get in and out. So maybe I'm thinking maybe making 4 videos. So this one will cover episodes 1 through 5. Really just focusing on the couples, not everybody that was going through the pods. And then maybe I'll split up, 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 together, and then do 10 by itself. That's what I'm thinking. But anyway, like I said, I just need to talk to somebody about this, y'all. So let's talk about Love is Blind. So if you watched the first season, you know what the show is all about. It's about these singles being in these pods, and basically you have conversations with all these men, or if you want to call them mini dates sight unseen. And you basically see who you have a connection with. If you have a connection with somebody, you do need to get engaged to them. You finally meet in person, get engaged, you go on a little trip for a few days, you live life for a few weeks, and then you get married in the end. But once you're at the altar, you can decide whether or not you actually want to go through with the wedding. So I really like this concept better than Married at First Sight, because while you are kind of committed with being engaged, you still have the option of whether or not you do want to get married in the end. So that's the gist of it. If y'all didn't see season 1, that's what the show is all about. So let's jump into the couples. I'll give a little bit of what I can remember, y'all, because I did not take any notes. I just wanted to enjoy the show, and I did not know I was going to talk about it. But once I got it, I started getting wrapped up into the show. I wanted to talk to somebody about the show. So here I am with the video. So the first couple I want to talk about, I'll try to, put some pictures over here so that y'all remember who is with who, is Shayna and Natalie. Now, these two seem like a very odd couple to me. I feel like Shayna was very annoying to me pretty much from the first episode. It's like he's this valley surfer dude, and his energy is always up here. His voice is pretty annoying. I feel like he was leading on a few of the ladies in the pods and telling them, different things about, I really like you. You're number one. I really got deep feelings for you. Like, feeding them all the same BS, and I really did not care for him. Still don't care for him for what I'm seeing thus far up to episode 5. Natalie, she seems like the type that she just wants to find love. Like he made her upset because they were in the pod. Well, she came in the pod, he came in, and he thought that she was a different girl on the other side. So that made her really upset and emotional. She wasn't expecting it. He kind of got upset and he left, flipping the script on her. And then they ended up kind of coming back together. And when they came back together again, he went ahead and proposed to her, saying, she's the most wonderful woman that, he's ever met. And he just keeps saying that. So it makes me feel like he's trying to also convince himself that she is such a great woman and she is the perfect match for him. But I'm not necessarily buying the two of them being together. I just don't like it. He needs lots of words of affirmation to the point that it is annoying for him to always want her to be like, oh, you're handsome. I love you so much. You look cute today. Like, he always needs her to say something. And I'm like, what kind of insecure man is this? Like, sir, I understand words of affirmation. I love those too. But don't nobody want to speak into you every 5 minutes of the day. Like, my gosh, that was just a bit much. So I just felt like he just wanted to be with somebody. And I think he felt that, of course, Natalie was falling a little bit harder than he was. And I felt like he just was like, well, why not? And she just wanted to be with somebody. She didn't want to leave the pod without being engaged, I felt like, on her part. So it was like, oh, he proposed, yay. And it was like, this just came together real weird for me. But maybe that was just me. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on Shane and Natalie. So next couple I want to talk about is Nick and Danielle. They were actually the very first couple to get engaged. And I think he's okay. I think she has a lot more personal work to do on herself. I feel like they got engaged in like 2 or 3 days. Like, it was so fast. Of course, you don't really know how much time is lapsing while they're in the pods, but it was like the first episode, I believe, when he was proposing to her. And I was like, well, this is rather fast. So once they actually, got engaged and they off to Mexico with the other couples, really her insecurity started to show. I believe she's one of the ones that she's lost quite a bit of weight. So I think she's a little bit insecure still about herself, although I think she looks fine. I think she's going to make a big deal out of very minor things because she constantly contradicts herself while she was talking to him, because she had like a panic attack. And while she was talking to him and trying to tell him about the panic attack, and, she's saying, it's really hard for me. And I feel like right now you're judging me. And he was just like sitting there. And I felt like he was sitting there really trying to absorb everything that she was saying to him in the moment, because he probably really didn't know what to say. But he was like, I'm just trying to support you. And then the next breath, she's like, oh, yeah, no, I know you love me. And I know you always be here for me. I'm like, girl, which one is it? Because in one breath, you like, I hate you right now because you're judging me and I really can't control this, and I am who I am. And then the next breath you're saying, well, I really don't feel like, I feel like you just mean well to me, and I feel like you really like me, and I know you wouldn't harm me. Like, girl, so she was getting on my nerves, and I'm like, you need some kind of therapy to work out that anxiety, chemical imbalance, whatever it is. But she's gonna be in her head so much. I feel like she's gonna self-sabotage their relationship, where he probably can deal with it, all these assumptions and things that she has going on in the back of her mind, and her really overthinking everything. It's gonna cause some problems for their relationship if they truly do make it to the altar to get married. So next up is Kyle and Shayna. Now, Kyle and Shayna, they're another odd couple to me. Shayna really liked Shane, and Shane really liked Shayna as well. So remember, Shane is the one that is now with Natalie, but he was feeling both Natalie and Shayna in the pods, but he ended up going with Natalie because he said that Natalie really made how she felt about him clear, and Shayna really didn't do that. So Shayna and Kyle are kind of talking in the pods. They realize they kind of have some big fundamental differences, especially in regards to religion. She is religious, he is not. And to me, that sounded like the complete deal breaker while they were in the pods. And then it was like the next scene was him saying like, oh, I don't want to miss out on a good person because of this, so I'm going to propose. He proposes. She actually says yes. And my mind is like, but why? Because y'all don't see, that's a pretty big deal, religion. And I'm just not understanding how that worked out to, yes, I'll marry you. And then she gets into a confessional alone and she's crying because she's been engaged before. And she's like, I just want to make sure it's right. And then I'm unsure because of the differences that we have. We haven't really talked about it. So again, I'm like, well, why did you say yes? And then the other odd thing was, after she got engaged to him, she then went in the pod with Shane to then tell Shane that she really did have strong feelings for him and she really did like him, but she's now engaged to someone else, which made him really upset because he had finally decided he was going to ask Natalie, and now she was telling him these feelings, and it was making him confused, but she was already engaged. It was a whole mess with the two of them. Like, I'm like, both of y'all get on my nerves. He seems very arrogant. She was giving me little bitch vibes. So maybe the two of y'all do belong together, because both of y'all getting on my nerves at this point. But she ended up saying yes. They get engaged. He really likes her. It seems like definitely a situation where he is more into her than she is into him. So they get to Mexico. She's there for like a day, maybe 2 days. And then she ends up leaving. saying that, well, I don't feel comfortable. She wanted them to sleep in separate rooms. And he was like, excuse me, what is happening? And now she's kind of getting cold feet. And I'm like, you never should have accepted this man's proposal, because I don't feel like y'all gonna make it. So they actually show them at the end meeting back up in Chicago once everybody else starts to get back home and they see each other again. And he's like, I can make her like me, or I can work on it. I think we're good together. And I'm just like on the other end, like, sir, no, she don't like you like that. And I feel like everything she is giving off is, I don't like you like that. And he can't read between the lines. And she still is actually talking about, I still have really strong feelings for Shane. So I feel like she gonna then pop off and cause some problems with Shane and Natalie being together, where she's just like, I don't care about Natalie's feelings. If I like Shane, I'm gonna let him know, and I'm gonna try to then pursue him. So I feel like she gonna cause some issues there, rather than just stepping back and just not being with anybody. Because I mean, you honestly missed your shot with Shane. I don't know why any woman would actually want Shane, but you missed your shot with Shane. So therefore, deal with what you got in Cal, or don't be with anybody on the show. Like, it's just that simple, girl. All right, y'all. Next up is Ayana and Jared. Now, listen. Jared's kind of fun, okay? So I was like, you don't meet nobody in the pods, Jared. Holla at your girl, okay? But he was kind of fun. But he was in the pod, and he was really building a connection with, it was Ayana, and then it was also Mallory, which she ended up with someone else. So he was kind of tossing between the two of them. At first, I was really feeling him with Mallory. And then the more he started opening up to the more he started opening up to Ayana, I was like, yes, these are the two I want together more than him and Mallory. So he actually was tossing between the two of them pretty much every day. It was up and down who he actually wanted to maybe possibly propose to. So he ended up actually asking Mallory, how she would feel if he proposed to her. He didn't propose. He just asked her how she would feel. So she starts crying, and she starts saying, how she built a connection with two people here. And she just really feels like the connection with the other person is a bit stronger. So he gets very emotional. He walks out. He goes back to the guys, area of the pods. And he is like really breaking down in this moment. Like, homegirl has broken his heart at this point. And I felt so bad for him. But also I'm like, that's kind of the point of being here, of trying to see where the connection lies with different people. Felt some kind of way when he went back to Ayana, but I feel like when he went back to her, he was very honest with her, of like, y'all two were kind of neck and neck. I kind of had the same feelings for the both of y'all, like really being honest. And while I was like, you're not going to do my girl Ayana like this, I'm like, okay, I get it. This is what you are here for. You're not committed to either one of them. And I didn't necessarily see her as second best, although she was like, I want somebody who is sure about me the way I'm sure about them. And I don't blame her. I feel you 100% on that, girl. But I truly do feel like he was split down the road with them. And I think if Mallory would have said she was feeling him like that, he would have went with her, because that kind of would have just made his decision easier, because she was feeling the same way he was about her. But since she didn't, and he went with Ayana, I know she was a little bit unsure about, like, I don't know, I was sure about him, but it seems like he was really unsure about me. But in the end, they actually ended up getting engaged, going off to Mexico. I think they are super cute together. I think he's really tall and big. She's really short. So he just kind of swallows her up when he goes to hug her, which I absolutely love. Like, that is so cute. He actually does end up, though, telling her a story that he says only his close friends and family know, which he said he had a friend, who he thought was a friend. And a year ago, this friend out of nowhere stabbed him and he almost died. And I think that's when the tide flipped for me for Ayana rather than Mallory for him, because he felt comfortable enough to share that with her. But I was just like, wow, that is so scary. So as they were, in Mexico, they were talking a little bit more. He's definitely like You ready for me to put it down? I'll put it down right here, right now. She's like, I kind of want to wait because we're getting married so soon. I kind of just wait until we get married to actually have sex. But, you know, he was giving her massages. She was giving him massages, and he dropped the swim shorts, and he was like, I ain't got no shame in my game. Let you know what's up. I also want to mention that they all did meet at the resort. So once they had kind of some time alone with each other, then they met together so that they can kind of start putting some of the other faces and names together that they have communicated within the pod. And I was feeling a little kind of way when Jared and Mallory started talking, and they were talking for, you know, quite a bit. And some of the comments Jared was making, I was like, sir, stop it. Your fiance is right over there. But he's like, you know, that's not the ring you wanted. I asked you what kind of ring you wanted. You wanted a gold ring. That's not the ring. And she started talking about, you know, how she just wants to kind of just be the chill girlfriend of, like, she likes sports too. And she feels like some guys really have a hard time prioritizing her in that moment. And he was like, I would have done that for you. Like, he's kind of making these comments that at this point to me are a little bit inappropriate, because you are now engaged to somebody else. Whatever was going on between the two of y'all, it happened. It's over. Y'all just got to get over it. But then she's like, you know, well, you know, you're engaged, but you don't kind of really got to, you know, get married. Kind of act like she really wasn't feeling her fiance like that anymore. And I'm just like, nah, it's because you saw Jared was this tall, dark, chocolate black man, and you was like, damn, I made the wrong choice. That's what you was feeling, Mallory. But don't be up on Ayana man like that. Leave that man alone. You had your opportunity. You said no. So do not be in the way of these people's happiness, okay? Because I'm not here for it. But I really hope the two of them are able to find some type of balance, because I think they are really cute together. But he seems to be really an extrovert and she's an introvert. So I'm hoping they can maybe balance each other out, rather than she get annoyed because he's always, you know, out and about or being wild and crazy, or him getting annoyed at her because she really don't want to go anywhere or interact with a bunch of people like he would rather do. So we'll see how it play out between the two of them. But I do like them together. Next is, I'm going to call him Shake, because that's what we call himself, Shake and Depty. I do like them together for the most part. I'm disappointed that he's not really physically attracted to her. And I'm like, she kind of almost looks like a female version of you. So do you not think you look that cute yourself? But it's funny because they're both Indian. They've never dated Indian people. They always have dated Caucasian people. And he made the comment, he's like, two brown people who've always dated white people. And I'm like, yeah, because I think he said he was born in India. So when he came to America, it was his first time seeing like white people with blonde hair and blue eyes and stuff. So he found that to be really attractive, and I'm rolling my eyes, but whatever. But she seems to be more into him. They had a really good emotional connection in the pods. And I feel like once they met each other the first time, like after they were engaged, he thought she was beautiful. He couldn't stop kissing her. He was all over her, grabbing her butt. Like, he was just all in it. And then it's like, I don't know, once he had a chance to spend more time with her or what happened, but once they got to Mexico, it was like things changed, but he just felt like he wasn't so physically attracted to her. He says he doesn't want to let, you know, one aspect of the relationship really dictate how he feels. So he's still open and, you know, trying to find, you know, other things. Because other than that, they seem to be matching pretty well as far as, you know, what they like, personalities and things like that. So we'll see how the two of them work out. And then the last couple we'll talk about is Salvador and Mallory. So this was the guy that Mallory was feeling more than Jared. And I was like, you get what you get, huh? You wish you could have backtracked a little bit now, huh? Because now you got old Salvador over here. Don't have no facial hair. Okay. But the two of them are together. I believe they are both of some Hispanic origin, because they both do speak a little bit of Spanish. She seemed to really have a connection with them. I believe they have had sex. I think, who else have had sex? I believe, what's his face? Nick and Danielle have had sex. And Shane and Natalie, I can't remember if they have, but Shane just continues to make inappropriate sexual jokes. So they've done something. I don't know if they've gone all the way, but they've done something. But anyway, Salvador and Mallory, he actually really likes her. Once they got to Mexico and they were with the other couples, and, you know, she spent a little bit of time really talking to Jared. Once they got back to Chicago, well, you could see while they were in Mexico, he got upset with it, and he's like, you know, he got kind of emotional, and he was like, I'm ready to go. So I thought this was going to be the end of them two. And then once they got back to Chicago, he brought it up again to her about, you know, how you were talking to him. And I thought I heard that you said, well, you know, we really don't have to get married. And that really hurt him as well. So he definitely has some insecurities going on. I think it's because now that he knows she's seen what Jared looks like, and he knows how he matches up to what Jared looked like, that he may be feeling a little bit insecure and unsure. She says, you know, she still really likes him and she loves him and she's feeling him and all that. But I don't know. I'm not getting such a deep connection from the two of them. I honestly didn't get it that deep in the pod for her to choose him over Jared, but it is what it is with the two of them, y'all. But, you know, I know that was a really quick synopsis of 5 whole episodes. But y'all know how it is when this show comes on. It's like they have clips of all these other random people who it ends up not going anywhere. So they really don't focus on that. And they start focusing on the 6 couples that they will have in the end for the show. And this was much easier and much condensed than trying to go episode by episode, when we just really want to see who the couple's going to be and if they actually going to end up getting married at the end. Okay, that's really all we want. But I'm going to do these videos, again, because it's not a weekly show I really have to keep up with, like Married at First Sight. So I'll probably come back with 3 more videos to kind of wrap up the whole series, y'all. But if y'all have started watching season 2 of Love is Blind, let me know your thoughts below. Do you feel like any of the couples are mismatched? Do you feel like you would have paired somebody up differently? That one girl in the pod, I can't even remember her name, but she got on my nerves so bad. And I think the first, maybe the second episode too. And she was like, I just think all the guys like me. I just think all of them like me. Like, I mean, like, who wouldn't like, girl? And that's why you ain't get picked. You right on back home because people was not feeling you like that. Okay. Anyway, y'all, like I said, let me know your thoughts on the couples below. Who are y'all think really gonna end up walking down the aisle? I really hope that, of course, Jared and Ayana walks down the aisle. I do think that Shake and Depty, I do like them together. And then that's it. I was looking back through the pictures and was like, yeah, that's it. Just those two is all I have hope for. I think the other couples are a little bit mismatched and really just want to be with somebody. So we'll see how this works out. Okay, drop the comments below and we will chat it up there. Okay, y'all? Catch you in the next video. Peace.